That's called light activity. Pay attention how it's getting lighter and brighter and dimmer, and the light on the floor appears and disappears at the same time. That's not sunlight. And the sun wouldn't be over the same front door that it was over at 9:58 a.m. where the people that stayed in Unit 41 were crossing path via the 2 minor children. Neither would sunlight be upright on the wall, tracing the floor, coming down from the windowsill, glowing. Right, that's not sunlight, and that's the pattern of the blinds. Of the window, and then this is light activity that's appearing and disappearing as the light is appearing, getting dimmer and brighter. This is monitoring. That's called light activity. That's demonic. It's also impossible to naturally occur, and it's separate from what is this light activity that stays around the door frame like you saw at 7 in the morning before the fake sun. You can hear me. Before the fake sun was rising, and this is the same exact light activity under what is the fake sun that's over the same front door where it was at 9:58. It is currently 2:06, so that's 10, 11, 12, 1, 5 hours later. It's over the same front door, just as I'm showing you at the same apartment. This is Unit 41 that we're crossing path with the 2 minor children to monitor me as I open the front door, and the path of the light was right here as I open the front door, and this is the same path. None of this is sunlight. This is all engineer light, and the sun would not be over the same front door 5 hours. It doesn't take 5 hours for the sun to go across, again, the same sidewalk. This is where you've seen the sunrise at 7:21, this tree right here, and this is where you see the sunset, all right, while it's still here after 6 p.m., and this is why it's still over the same apartment 51 at what is after 2 p.m. That's the City of Ontario engaged in criminal summoning while they're monitoring me. It's very specific, the P.O.C. Stalking under fake sun. Those are demons. And they're gang stalking with the elderly in Unit 55 and units that's crossing path. He's doing the same thing after 5 p.m. with his minor children. That's the City of Ontario crossing path. That's the demon going out the gate. And they're doing the same thing while the fake sun is stationary over my office today in 2024. That's the very specific pattern of conduct that units 41 are engaging in. License 9TAZ076. That's AMR crossing path with the people of the state stalking at Vine Avenue. The entity is gang stalking under the fake sun that took 5 hours to go from here, 9:58 a.m. to what is 2 o'clock. 2:07 p.m. and AMR's ambulance, the American Medical Response, crosses path and the siren stops sounding after they cross path with Trace's apartment where the fake sun is sitting. Inside of this apartment building where the fake sun is sitting 5 hours over the same unit, where Unit 41 is coming out of the apartment while the entity sounds sirens, where the fake sun is remaining rising and setting at the same unit. This is not the natural environment where the sun would be over my office like I documented today in 2024. Video at 1:22 p.m. That screen recording will show you the maintenance of that fake sun where LAPD is gang stalking like the City of Ontario is gang stalking. Neither is this position of this sun the explanation for the light that's framing the defendant Tracy Banks' front door on the inside of the apartment, where sunlight is not touching on the outside and then also appearing on the inside along the ceiling and along this east wall behind the door. Neither is it going to be the explanation for what is shade here on the outside of this window. And it's appearing, as you saw, glowing on the inside here, causing the light to illuminate the floor on the ground. That's all light activity. That's called stalking with light. And it's also called stalking in the path while a demon walks out of their front door where they're engaged in surveillance with the City of Ontario under the fake sun that remains over Tracy Banks' apartment, and where you're looking at over the same front door for 5 hours from 9:58 a.m. till what is 2:09 p.m. and the entity sounds sirens with simultaneity to my documentation, and that's the very specific pattern of conduct that is underway while the government, that is the City of Ontario's gang stalking with the people of the state, who are stalking with amplified noise. The reason why I'm capturing this video is because the elderly people like I'm documenting on podcast at what is 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, where none of these old people under the fake sun amongst engineered light are sleeping. Neither are they engaging in nothing other than gang stalking with minor children. The voice of those children is a means of audible activity that Unit 41 is still monitoring with, just like they were when they were walking on this same sidewalk and what is engineered light, not the product of sunlight while the sun's over my office door at Alvarado Gardens. And Paul Leon is again stalking with them, with all of the old people in units 49 through 64 who are living under the fake sun with criminal surveillance with the City of Ontario that sounded sirens with simultaneity to my opening the door to capture this phenomenon of the fake sun over the same front door like it was at 9:58 a.m. This is P.O.C. Okay? The demon inside of the apartment is monitoring like she always is in that supernatural environment that fills her apartment. And the entity is doing so with the city of Ontario that's outside of the apartment, engaging what is surveillance as a citywide criminal effort. They're the same ones monitoring in the bathroom as well. This is the P.O.C. The entity is engaging what is harassment while I'm sleeping, and then as I document, then they engage in what is harassment, trying to obstruct justice. This is the same demon that's a psychopath, engaging what is witchcraft to wake me up from sleep. And now that I'm capturing the fake sun, and the city of Ontario is flying right there beside the fake sun that's remaining over the same apartment building for over 5 hours, and the entities engaging in what is crossing path together. Okay, these are the same demons you see pacing. That's not forgetfulness, that's pacing, and that's demon possession. Doing so with the Ontario Police Department via helicopter. Doing so again while the same fake sun is remaining at 8:56 a.m. You see the same family pacing on the sidewalk. Doing so after 4 p.m., after 5 p.m., where you see the same family gang stalking while this fake sun in alignment with the same sidewalk after 5 p.m. where this fake sun remains. And this is the entity that's gang stalking, sounding sirens. Okay, this is P.O.C. The entity is keeping the fake sun today on video at 5 p.m. in 2024. That's that license there, 9TAZ076. The entity is stalking as an entity and is engaging in what is stalking with activity, with the entity engaging in what is a threat while the manager is gang stalking with her. She's referencing Linda Reyes, who was going to federal prison for gang stalking with the city of Ontario. The same demon you see on April 25th under this fake sun at 10:25 in the morning, and it's over the same sidewalk at 2:11 p.m. This is P.O.C. That's a threat of physical violence while the entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct, interfering with what is my quiet enjoyment while I'm sleeping, and then being documented for such harassment tactics, and then is hostile to being documented as a gang stalker and a psychopath. Stop touching me. Stop touching me. Stop touching me. This is audible activity, and this is harassment by a demon that's gang stalking. No. Stop touching me. This is harassment by a demon that's gang stalking. The same pedophile that's engaging in what is, excuse me. This is the same psychopath that's engaging in what is, don't touch me. This is the one that engages in criminal summoning when she's engaging in what is harassing me, and she's now engaging in a battery because she's being documented for gang stalking amongst what is under the fake sun and an engineered light, gang stalking with Linda Reyes, and she's engaging in what is harassment, and when she's documented for waking me up, using witchcraft, engaging in demonic behavior with the rest of the elders who are stalking in impossible light activity under the fake sun that's over the same front door, then she's engaging in what is trying to obstruct justice. That's why she is going to a mental asylum. These are the cowards that are fearful of the documentation of the pattern of conduct. I will open the door again. What are you doing?
You're a bully.
No, you're a psychopath.
You're in my house.
This is audible activity and engineered light.
You look crazy.
This is an admission. That's criminal defamation. This is audible activity and engineered light under the fake sun.
Whatever.
That's criminal defamation. That's why she's going, and everybody else that's gang stalking, including Linda Reyes, are going to federal prison.
I don't give a fuck.
The entity is going to federal prison, gang stalked by criminal summoning. This is the demon that's manifesting while you document. Reference April 7th, reference April 14th. Under the fake sun and an engineered light. And this is the entity that's engaging what is harassing me while I'm sleeping. I wake up to capture the idle fake sun that's over the demon. That's the psychopath that is mentally ill, engaging what is name calling with regard to documentation of her gang stalking. The same sex offender that's monitoring my genitalia in the bathroom is resorting to criminal defamation while her criminal activity is documented with the same defendants residing in unit number 41, engaging criminal summoning together, walking in and out of their front door, engaging what are the elements of monitoring together. All right, the sun is not going to be any sort of object, by the way, that creates light activity like you're seeing on this. This is impossible light activity while the demons engaging what is criminal defamation. That's the pattern of the gate that you can see up here. That's this gate right here. That's this gate right here. And it's manifesting on the top, on the living room wall. That's impossible light activity with regard to criminal surveillance that the city of Ontario is sharing with Tracy Banks, who is together engaging in criminal defamation, stating that she needs to put me away, stating that she's hands on me. This is a sex offender. This is somebody that's harassing while she's being documented for terrorism and psychological torture with the city of Ontario that shares in the criminal engagement in that pattern of conduct amongst engineer light in the specific environment. That is shared with what is Los Angeles at Alvarado Gardens, where LAPD is documented very heavily gang stalking today. This is light again manifesting in the shade. You can see manifesting in the shade. That is the pattern of what is again impossible light, the pattern of the gate appearing in the middle of the sidewalk in the shade. That's all shade right there. None of that is sun. It's the same pattern of conduct of stalking with light inside of the apartment. This is where the demons are engaging in what is criminal defamation as you document them.
That's speaking to the supernatural character and the content of the speech of the gang stalkers who are demon possessed. That's the malice of Satan, okay? Do you witness what is assault and battery by the entity gang stalking, engaging in what is criminal summoning together? That's the state that's gang stalking under the fake son. These are the demon possessed who are also monitoring all the evidence that's published on the internet, especially as the city of Los Angeles is documented with regard to the very heavily gang stalkers of the LAPD, who did so under an idle fake son that is today in 2024 remaining over my office, not over Tracy Banks' front door, where she's engaging in what is an assault and battery as an entity, criminal defamation as an entity, the entity engaging in criminal summoning, sounding sirens, and doing so while I am documenting them. This is what the entity is subject to. That's why you're subject to federal prison. Outside, crossing path, the same demons of Unit 41, gang stalking together, and that's intentional conduct when you're walking in the shade and you're creating what is light activity. That's the purpose of it. Okay, this is P.O.C. This is where the entity is engaging in what is that harassment tactic, doing so under that supernatural occurrence. This is not creating any sunlight on the inside of Tracy Banks' apartment. All right, this is P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, well, this is state conduct. So putting your hands on me while you're engaged in gang stalking, and admittedly so in your apartment, is the same one that's going to a mental asylum. And the entity is speaking, remember that. The entity that's stalking what is impossible light activity, resorting to criminal defamation, and is only engaging in that as a means of seeking to obstruct justice. They're the ones that engaged in what is criminal interference with quiet enjoyment in this engineered light. Everybody in units 33 through 64 is going to federal prison. Gang stalking with the sex offender that likes to monitor my genitalia with his minor kids under the 5 p.m. fake sun, sitting on the staircase while they're pacing around, and he's in perfect alignment with me while my vagina is exposed in the bathroom. That same sex offender is the one that's pacing in order to monitor me, creating impossible light activity inside of the sex offender, the psychopath's apartment, Tracy Banks, that resorts to criminal defamation. Those are the tactics of Satan. This is why you're going to mental asylums and federal prison for gang stalking. It is demonic activity. This is P.O.C. That is again, this pattern of this gate right here in the shade, while the fake sun has nothing to do with the light that's covering everything, and the manifestation of light appearing in the shade is the evidence of that. The fake sun is the poorly designed stage where gang stalking is supposed to occur in a manner that the ordinary target individual is not capable of proving or establishing. The entity is gang stalking with the government that sounded sirens during this video. The entity is gang stalking through the means of criminal defamation. This has nothing to do with sunlight either. And the fake sun is over the same apartment at 9:58 a.m. where that same family in Unit 41 is gang stalking with malice and impunity. And all of the adults are going to mental asylums, just like the demon in Unit 51 who you see engaging in what is a battery, the same one engaging what is threatening to engage in criminal summoning while I'm merely speaking and not to her. The demons manifest as I document and expose them. That's what Satan is doing, and that's an unlawful threat by the government, and that's why they're going to prison and mental asylums. This is P.O.C. It's currently 2:18 p.m.